right, folks, we are back. This is the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Burma sitting in. We're joined by Alan Watt of CuttingThroughTheMatrix.com. And, you know, the Bilderberg meeting, where a lot of these elites get together and really codify their agenda, we'll be meeting in about 1 week over in, I think it's going to be in Greece this year. And we reported a couple weeks ago that I think it was Enyan Devnier saying that they had created the euro through the Bilderberg Group. Now, remember, the Bilderberg Group didn't exist, and then they said, oh, it's just a golf club, and they don't set any policy there. Obvious lies. However, right now, and this is stories over at PrisonPlanet.com, leaked 1955 Bilderberg documents outline plan for a single European currency almost 40 years before it was codified in 1992. Now, this isn't a surprise to you or me, Alan, but it really does speak to the fact that these guys are the policymakers. They are people who believe that they are our lords, our gods, the people who should rule over us, the masses, the sheeple, the chattel, if you will. I mean, those are the names they call us, and this is just a further illustration that they are the puppet masters behind the scenes.
They're certainly one of the main groups, there's no doubt about it, but even John Maynard Keynes in the mid-40s, when they were setting up the Bretton Woods Agreement for the monetary system, when he said this is part one, part two will be a global monetary system, he said also, too, that the trading blocks that they would build up from then on, because they already planned to unite Europe and during World War II, he said that they'll bring in a unitary currency for Europe and then one for the Americas later, and also a global currency, although he said they wouldn't see the global currency in his lifetime. That would be the next century, which is now. As I say, we're living through a script, and when you find their old books, you have no doubt about it whatsoever.
So what do you think is going to be on the agenda this year at the Bilderberg Group? I mean, again, they meet in a week. In my mind, you know, there's 144 public members. So, you know, it's kind of like this compartmentalized group of people, very small. And then in another month or so, they're going to be meeting at the Bohemian Grove when you have 3,000 people there. And those people who are at the Bilderberg Group will give their agenda to their underlings at the Bohemian Grove. So you have a system where it's a need-to-know system. Some people are more in the know than others, and the people in the Bohemian Grove, most of them are less in the know, say, than those that attended the Bilderberg conference. They're given an agenda, they're given a job to carry out, but they may not know why.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, I think the thing will be the true bringing up of the International Monetary Fund to its proper place. They've already admitted they're going to be the world's issuers of currency. That'll be part one, but also the biggest part two is also population control. Now, they're really on a roll to get the public to accept they must have population reduction by government law and order, etc. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we played some of those clips because we had one of those heckler callers in the beginning go, oh, they want to kill 80% of us. Well, those are in their own documents. And you've got Ted Turner running around saying there's already too many people on the planet and we need a sustainable society. Then we actually have the World Sustainable Society, this organization with Gordon Brown and others, including the global warming czar of the Obama administration, who's openly for global governance. And in these groups, they say, well, we're just going to have to take the population down. We have people talking about taking the population from the UK from, it's at 60 million officially, it's probably more like 70 million, down to 30 million by 2027. How is that going to be possible unless they sterilize everybody and kill half the population?
Yeah, well, they're already sterilizing people. They've admitted that now. It's happening. It's just a pure coincidence they were putting the very agents to sterilize us in the water and in the food since 1950. And obviously the inoculations as well certainly helped along the way. But now they're going into, they want the rights now to mandate who can breed, who cannot breed. Because it's not a matter of overpopulation. And all those statistics, remember, have been fudged since the days of Malthus. He used graphs and charts and fake statistics. And but that doesn't matter as long as the public believe it. Because we must acquiesce by our silence to their demands. They want the rights to literally sterilize people. And that's been in the British newspapers quite recently. So that's really what it's all about. It's not there's too many people, it's too many of the wrong sort of people. You know, the ones who haven't evolved as far as those at the Bilderberg are. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they honestly believe that they should rule over us. They're smarter than us. They're more intelligent than us. And then we are just, we're cannon fodder for them. And we are being groomed to be either dead or a slave race to serve them. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be licking any boots. I'm not going to be sucking my thumb in a fetal position, just waiting for them to give me a Baxter vaccination that's going to save me from the oh so dangerous swine flu. Oh no, the swine flu is going to get us. Meanwhile, we don't have any, let me repeat this, any deaths in the United States. The 2-year-old boy that died had chronic health problems. He was a premature baby. He was from Mexico. And we played you the clip where the Associated Press tries to say that swine flu killed this woman, and then they have to go, oh, well, actually it didn't. You know, they're falling short of that. We'll be back after this, taking your calls with Alan Watt.
The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com.
All right, Junior in New York, you're on the air.
How you doing?
Junior.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Basically, they passed through my neighborhood the other day doing the census, and I wasn't here, but my neighbor was here, and I was curious, like, what could these GPS coordinates be for? I know that you guys are saying SWAT teams, but really
no,
they
not
could
SWAT.
just
Listen, I don't want to say SWAT teams. That might be something that Alex Jones has said. And, obviously they can use GPS coordinates if they want to get to your house and you're off the grid and use SWAT against you if you're a terrorist, underlined in this DHS document. But what it is to create this massive control grid to document everybody's home. And that's why the Census Bureau is going to every single house and GPSing outside of your house 40 feet at the least. Alan, why don't you talk about that? What do you think some of the...
Can I just... I wanted to actually ask Alan, because I know he knows. I never really... I just wanted to know if he thinks that there's any possibility that they could be using these coordinates with HARP to zap targeted houses, or, if they have certain people that they want to hit with the HARP.
Look, before Alan answers that, Alan, I want you to answer that in a second. I want you to answer that in a second, but I just want to say this. They're creating a database and a control grid so they know who to go after. I don't think it has, much to do with, we're going to GPS everybody and now we're going to use HARP weapons against them. No, they want to database everybody first, put you into different subcategories, see who the real threats are, see who the free thinkers are, and then take action from there. Alan, what's your take?
Back in the 70s, I talked to a guy who worked for the British service, the Secret Service, and he told me he had a heart attack, a young fellow. Mm-hmm. And he changed employment. He was teaching at universities. And he just mentioned one day that shortly there'll be a grid system. It's already underway, he said, set up for tracking via satellite everyone's homes. And he said right now, and that was true at that time, we were all being trained to put down our postal codes, even though the postal codes were not used by the post office for another 15 years. He says we're presently training the public to always write their postal code. He says, because eventually everyone will be categorized under various codes. That's all he would say. What he really meant, I think, was political codes, etc., viewpoints, and so on. So that was part of it, and that was literally 1972.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is just an extension of the control grid, don't you? They want to get people that are off the grid. They want you to be a part of this huge control grid where they can zoom in on your house from a satellite. They know exactly where you live, who you are, and they have that data.
They have the data, and they can do flyovers too, and if they want to check out your house, they can infrared it and see what's in it and all the rest of it. There's a whole bunch of reasons they can use it. But also remember, they're always working on the future. Mm-hmm. And in the future for Agenda 21, depending on where you are and which region and area you're in, and they do have regions marked down across the U.S. and Canada, they want to get us all off over the next 16 years off the land and into the overcrowded cities. So it probably all tie together, many functions all in the one thing going on right now. And it'll be part to do with that as well. Also, remember, they're going after... the U.S. is just passing that law, putting that law through where they own all water in the United States internally. So if you happen to be on top of a nice deep well or something like that, they might just want that or they might not let you have access to your own water. There's a whole bunch of reasons that they're doing this for. It's all data collection for every facet of your life.
Well, let's say they also pass this bill where you're not supposed to have an organic farm. It's going to be a lot easier for them once they GPS your house, realize how big it is, to just check their satellite and say, oh my God, this guy's got a victory garden. He's a terrorist. Let's go get him. I mean, it's a total surveillance, total control grid, and that's why they want that information.
Yes, and that was all part of the Star Wars. The real Star Wars program was all for the future, which is now, and what's coming up, and tracking and coordinating, etc. It's all part of it. So when they come to you personally and do it in your home, remember, even the guy who reads your electric meter punches that little GPS satellite when he punches in the meter readings. He also punches in where he is. So they've been doing this for years.
Absolutely.